So I wanted to create a video to answer the question that keeps coming up. Will the bulletproof coffee prevent autophagy? Okay, I've done videos on will it prevent, ketosis, but now let's talk about autophagy. Autophagy is an amazing state. When you go into fasting mode, your body starts repairing, you start recycling the damaged proteins and the microbes in the body and the viruses and the candida, starts cleaning up all this stuff. The need for vitamins and nutrients go way down because your body is in recycled mode. It gets very, very efficient. Our bodies were designed tens of thousands of years ago to not eat very frequently. So we have this great survival skill that helps us in many different ways. So it's like a self-cleaning oven, so to speak, in your cells. So what will stop autophagy? Glucose is right at the top of the list. Protein, cortisol. How do you get this? From stress, okay? Stress will shut that down like that. Not that you've ever experienced stress, but you probably know people who have. Eating will stop autophagy, okay? So we really want to do fasting, low stress, and then not consume these. Fat has the least effect on insulin, so that's exciting. So let's say, for example, you're doing bulletproof coffee where you're adding some coconut oil or MCT oil or even butter, and you're doing like a lot of it, okay, where there's 300-400 calories. Yeah, well, that's going to stop your autophagy. Absolutely, it's going to block it. But if you're doing a small amount, let's say 1 tablespoon of butter or 1 tablespoon of MCT oil, it may inhibit autophagy for a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that significant. Now, if you do half and half, it does have 1% carbohydrate and less than 1% protein. So now we're getting the carbs, but these have no carbs, okay? So maybe you just do a very, very small amount of this, and that might be the ideal situation. But to get into autophagy really depends on several things. The amount of calories that you're consuming, which we just talked about, the less autophagy we have. So it's a balance act. Also, your health state, your age. If you're 18 years old and have an incredible metabolism, you can probably get into autophagy way faster than someone going through menopause. But let's say you have a diabetic and you're on medication, well, that's going to inhibit your autophagy too. So it really depends too on your health state. The worse your health is, the more strict that you need to be with these things. The healthier you are, the more you can get away with this, okay? The faster the metabolism, the more you can get away with this. Okay, let's say, for example, you exercise. Well, that will help you get into autophagy because that's one of the triggers. So because you're actually creating this stress on top, you're not eating, so you're going to create more autophagy. As long as you recover, because we don't want to increase too much cortisol from the excessive stress that you just created. Also, there's another factor of how long you're fasting. Let's say, for example, you're doing 1 meal a day. Well, that's great because you're going to have a lot of hours to get into autophagy, right? I would imagine you get into a really good autophagy right around 18 hours. It could be 16 hours. Could be a little bit later. It really depends on, they don't really know exactly, but I'm just using that as a good ballpark number, 18 hours of fasting, okay? So if let's say you're getting exactly 18 hours or 17 hours and you're doing this, well, you're probably not going to get the benefits as compared to doing your fasting, let's say at 20 hours and with a 4-hour window of eating, okay? So you can see that it's not a simple answer. You have to look at all these factors and use a judgment on this. But the longer the fast, the more you can get away with this, okay? And also how much insulin you have in your body, because insulin will block autophagy too. So you say, well, I don't have any more carbohydrates. Well, you may have insulin resistance. And insulin resistance causes your own body to make it more insulin, like 5 to 7 times more that extra insulin can keep you from experiencing the benefits of autophagy. And this is why the autophagy benefits, even living longer and better skin and anti-aging, occur more over time of doing a healthy keto and intermittent fasting plan, because you're building on this. Your body's becoming more efficient. Your insulin is coming way down. Okay, so it's really a balancing act. There's a certain hormone factor called GIP that's located in your small intestines, and this is triggered when you eat. So it amplifies the effects of insulin. So it's not just a matter of avoiding carbs, it's a matter of also keeping your calories really low, okay? But I would imagine if you're in pretty good shape and you just do a small amount of one of these in your coffee, I don't think it's going to be a big problem, okay? But you have to test it out and see if you're getting the benefits, that you're better skin, feeling younger, the cognitive improvements. And by the way, as a side note, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, vitamin D will help you get into autophagy more. So sun is really good too. So if we combine sun with exercise, with fasting, it'll improve your potential for autophagy benefits. All right, so I think I covered all the points, and I will see you in the next video. There's some really cool benefits using ghee for your bulletproof coffee. Now, what's the main difference between butter and ghee? It's mainly ghee is clarified butter. So basically they remove the milk solids, which includes casein, which a lot of people have allergies to, as well as lactose, which a lot of people are lactose intolerant. So you get the benefits of butter without the issues that can mess up your digestive system or give you an allergy. Now, ghee has been around for a very long time. It's used in various countries like India for a lot of different things, cooking and health benefits. And if you're going to use bulletproof coffee, I would recommend using ghee instead of regular butter, especially if you're lactose intolerant. And to make this really simple, all you do is you add 1 to 2 tablespoons of ghee to a cup of coffee, blend it. That's all you got to do. And I would get the one that says A2, which is a type of protein in a cow that is just better for your digestive system. Now, another cool thing about ghee is it's a pure fat. And there's only really 2 things that won't stimulate insulin. One is pure fiber, and 2 is pure fat. Now, of course, this is in addition to being on a low-carb diet. But protein can stimulate insulin, carbs will increase insulin, but fiber and fat will not. So we get the benefits of keeping your insulin low. Now, let me just go through really quickly some really cool benefits of ghee in your coffee, or ghee just in your foods, cooking with ghee. It has lutein, which is a type of carotenoid that's good for your eye. It can actually help prevent something called macular degeneration. As we get older, a lot of people get that condition and then it affects their vision. So this can help avoid the condition. Ghee also dramatically decreases your appetite, so it'll allow you to fast longer. So this is another very powerful benefit, because the longer you can fast without food, the better your health is going to be. Now, the other really cool thing about ghee is that it has all of the fat-soluble vitamins. It has vitamin A, it has vitamin D, it has vitamin E, and vitamin K2, which is a very important fat-soluble vitamin to keep calcium in the bone and out of the arteries and out of the soft tissues like your joints. And also ghee has a digestibility ratio or percentage of like 97% compared to other fats that are not digested as well. One interesting thing about ghee is that it has a certain amount of medium chain triglycerides called MCT fats. And the unique thing about those fats is they are not stored as fat. They're used as energy. They turn into ketones. So they bypass the gallbladder and the bile. So they're much easier to digest. Now, the other thing about ghee is that it has short chain fatty acids, and that's really good for gut health. So if you have inflammation in the gut, ghee would be very beneficial. Ghee also has something called CLA, which has some really interesting properties. It's anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory. It has an anti-allergy effect. And the last question that a lot of people are going to want to know about is, will consuming this bulletproof coffee, okay, or ghee knock me out of ketosis? Okay, let me just clarify that. Well, first of all, it won't knock you out of ketosis because it's giving you ketones. Now, is it going to break your fast? Well, it's not going to increase insulin. Okay, it's a true fast is without food. Okay, so yes, it can break your fast for a little bit, but as far as breaking your ketosis state, it's not going to do that. But it may slow down your weight loss if you have a slow metabolism. But for most people starting out, I do recommend doing the bulletproof coffee. But the only time I wouldn't is, let's say your metabolism is very, very slow and you're doing everything to try to speed up your weight loss, then I would not recommend adding any additional fats that aren't normally in the food that you would eat that comes with the protein. Now, I think a really interesting video for you to watch next would be my one on vitamin K2. Check it out. I put it right here.